Hey everybody, and welcome to TekFlow for Construction, brought to you by ZenTech Consultants. TekFlow for Construction is a recurring videocast where we talk about the best tech practices and procedures that we've been implementing for ZenTech clients, ones that we think everybody should be looking to include in their own workflows. I am Jim Coppinger, a principal here at ZenTech Consultants, and today I want to talk about uploading files to a cloud-based storage and construction management system. Now, admittedly, right, it's not an original concept. It's something that's been around for a lot of years, but surprisingly, there's still a huge level of resistance to this. And I'm going to talk about why, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how you can handle this in different types of systems. The first thing I'm going to do is jump over here to Bluebeam Review, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about using a system like Bluebeam Review to handle all of your cloud file hosting needs. And let's talk about that for a minute. So what I really mean by cloud hosting your files, and this is, I think, where a lot of the confusion sometimes comes in, because a lot of folks who are watching this video cast are going to say, hey, we put our files in the cloud. We have SharePoint, we have Dropbox, and yeah, that's a good thing. And I those are great systems. But what I do find a lot with clients is that there is a resistance to actually hosting a single copy of your files out in the cloud. I run into it a lot where a lot of people are holding multiple copies of whatever documents and data that they have to share out on their server and on local drives, and they're putting it out into cloud, and they're only sharing out the bare minimum files that they have to. And I think there's a lot of concern still out there over security and control, right? And people wonder, if I put things up into the cloud, if I put it into, Bluebeam Studio or Procore or Autodesk Build, what happens if I can't access it, or what happens if, my account goes down, or if things go offline and people can steal the files. And here's the reality of it. Cloud-based systems like that are dramatically more secure and have a lot more uptime than your local servers. Right? The point of the matter is that most of us can't afford to have a full fleet of IT guys who can just get on there and make sure we're at the latest patches and the latest updates, security protocols, and giving VPN access and dial-in access to everybody on the planet. And that's where the cloud instances come in, right? We can take the data that we're working with, we can host it in that one location out in the cloud. And then we have the ability to add security levels, to who can do what with those files. Some people are read-only. Some files, can't be seen at all. Others are for full editing. We have that capability with modern technology, but there's still that lingering belief that, the data is somehow going to be lost or stolen. And look, the reality is this. The kind of stuff that we're talking about for most of the folks watching this, unless you happen to be doing a lot of, government level, Department of Defense or DND type of work, you don't have that level of true security requirements. It's kind of an illusion of control and security, when what you really want to do is make it convenient and accessible and make sure that everybody is accessing the correct data. Because believe me, even if you think I'm wrong and that there is some risk that you're going to lose files that you've uploaded into the cloud somehow, that lost file is going to cost you a lot less money than someone who is building off of a document that's 3 revisions out of date, because he's looking at the older version that's in his email that you send him instead of the most updated version on the cloud. So that's really kind of the drive behind why I wanted to talk about this today. So let's kind of get into this a little bit, and I'll show you how you can work these pretty simply in most of the modern construction management systems. So like I said, I got Bluebeam up here. In previous video casts here on TekFlow, we talked about how to build, default standard, folder structures and so on in these various programs. And I just want to talk about now getting into actually going in and deciding what files you're going to put where and how they're going to be accessible to people, right? And how easy it is to get these in here. So if I go here into my drawings, you see that in here I've got some subfolders that are already built in. They're empty right now, but I can go into the design files or output sheets, and I can go further down if there's drawings by others. Say that this is what we need to do, right? We need to bring in some kind of drawing files that we just got in from the engineer or the architect or a vendor, whatever it may be. And it doesn't matter what kind of files we're talking about here. It's as easy as just going to the folder structure that we want to use. Right? In this case, I'm working in Bluebeam Studio because it's completely free, unlimited hosting. So I'm a big fan of that. And I'm just going to click the Upload Files button right here. Right? I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to add files. Right? And I'm just going to go into right wherever my particular files are. So I'm just going to grab these PDFs here. And these could be any kind of files. Drawing files, Revit models, contracts, bid sets, specs. It doesn't matter. Right? I'm just grabbing random files. And I'm just going to open those up. Right? And just say, okay. And you see that quickly? You see that Bluebeam is uploading these right up into the cloud. Right? Now, what I have is a central location where everybody involved, every subcontractor, every trade, every vendor, right? Every sales operative, the owners, everybody involved in the job now has access to one centralized location out in the cloud where we don't have to worry about who's got so many files on that server and the architect has files over there. Everything's here. And with modern tools, you get great benefits out of these, like the simple idea of being able to hover over files and get previews of what they look like. Right, we can right-click on them and we can, rename and move and copy and change properties and add metadata, all kinds of information. And we can do that in just about any construction management system. Right, so if I go over here and say, oh, look, we can go into Autodesk Build. Same thing, right? I'm just going here into my drawings folder, right, that we worked with before, and I just click on the Upload Files, right? And I can just go in and I can either drag and drop them here. Or I can just click on, from my computer. Right? And I can just go in and pull those up and I can load the same files right there up into Build. Right? And they just say done. You see it's ready to load them all up. It's just, there you go. It just starts pushing them all up in here, right? And I can go in and add, additional data and versioning revisions and, add markups and wherever else it is that I need to do here. And I can do the exact same thing in a system like Procore, right? So if I go into, one of my projects here, and I can just go in and say, hey, under there, I want to upload some drawings or either, some basic documents. I'll just go to the drawings folder here. That it's a very, very simple thing for me to just go in, right? And I can build drawing sets. You say I can just go in and upload drawings. Same thing. I can drag and drop, or I can go in and attach files from my computer and just browse out to where they are, right? And say, there it is. Those are the ones that I want to bring in. It's as easy as that, right? It's the same process in pretty much every one of these. Then when I go and attach, I can, put these into drawing sets and add additional data and whatever it is I need there. But the big takeaway for this, and the thing that I want you guys to really think about in terms of using these construction management systems to host your files is, like I said, you want to make sure that these files are actually the one source of truth, right? What we do not want to do is keep a copy on our server that we work on as a company, and then we put only our final printed output files that are for reference out in the cloud, because there's a disconnect then. We wind up with our vendors and our subcontractors and bids and all of the other things that we have to work with. They have the potential of working with data that is out of date, right? They're looking at something that's an older revision, or you made a quick change, or there was a price change, or a model number was shifted. Whatever it may be, the idea here is that you put the actual working files into the cloud. Now, if you are, just not trusting me here, and you're still worried about security and you want to keep your own copy in case something happens or somebody messes with a file out in the cloud, fine. If you're going to do that, the copy should be on your server. The primary working file should really be out in the cloud in your construction management system. And you can keep a copy of it on your server, but if you do that, make sure that your IT people make your copy on your server a read-only folder. Nobody should be allowed to edit those files. They should be, there just for reference and in case something goes wrong. I honestly don't think it's that necessary, but if you really feel that it is, that's what I'll stress to you. You keep the copies only in a read-only state on your server and let the actual working files exist in the cloud so that everybody and anybody who needs to can get to them 24/7, 365 from anywhere in the world. It makes a dramatic difference in how you operate on a daily basis. All right, so that's what we wanted to talk to you guys about on this week's TekFlow, and I'll catch you guys next time.